Hello and welcome back to Kev's Hobby Showcase. I'm Kevin. You may have also seen me on Tabletop Drones Productions presents 2 at 8's Playing Board Games, where me and my friend John play games and have a hell of a time doing it and joke around a lot. Today I'm going to be painting something from the Marvel Crisis Protocol game. It's what they call their rivals. They call it rival panels. It's the set of Spider-Man and Doctor Octopus. So there is a bit of terrain that comes with it. I'm not going to be doing that in this video. I'll do it in another video. Right now I'm just going to concentrate on the two characters, Spider-Man and Doctor Octopus. So let's start and get to it. Let's see. All right. Look at this. All right. All right. So let's start with Spider-Man. I mean, these pieces are already primed, and with Spider-Man, I mean, I'm sure everybody knows the Spider-Man costume. You know that is red and blue, and there's also these little black lines and a little spider and the thing. So I'm not going to be worrying about all the little black lines that are on the costume. When we do the wash, that will pretty much satisfy itself. The only thing I'm going to do on this piece with the black paint is going to be this tiny little spider that's on the front and around the eyes, which of course I would make the eyes white. But for now, we're just going to do the base coats, which is red and blue. So let's start off with the red. All right. All right, I'm going to try not to put the red on. Actually, I said I was going to try not to, but I wound up doing it anyway. And that means now I got to wait for the red to dry before I can do the blue. Now, just so you know, for any of you who have not played this game or spent any money on this game, these game pieces come in pieces, and you got to put them together. And you can see how small this little head is. Just imagine all you adults out there with your adult-sized fingers trying to hold that little head on this body while the glue dries. Imagine that. Imagine having to do that. Once you've imagined that, you can imagine the frustration that I had holding that onto this. So, and as you can see here, they got him holding a web line. Well, when the time comes to do like all the detailing and whatnot, I will be painting that web line a gray color, which is pretty much how it would look in the comics. Now, there's a spider on the back that is normally done in red, and I will do that in red, but I'm going to wait until I've put the blue paint down and maybe get back to that when I start doing details and do the red spider then. And I know in these videos I normally kind of show you the pieces before I start. I know I didn't do that this time, so I just wanted to really get right into it. Actually, I'm trying to get a bunch of videos done all at once, because I haven't put any out in a while, in about a couple of weeks, and starting on Monday, which is 2 days from now, I'm going to be working overtime at my job, and I'm not going to really have time to do much of anything. Nice straight piece of the brush coming off. Alright. Now, funny thing about Spider-Man when I was a kid. Oh, sorry about that. That's from my tablet, which I didn't silence. Anyway, as I was saying, when I was a kid, my first favorite superhero was in fact Spider-Man. However, ironically enough, there seems to be a bunch of hairs on this thing. So ironically enough, actual spiders really creep me out. I just can't stand to be near them. Especially the big ones. They just really creep me out. Alright, so I've got the red down on that. Get a napkin. I gotta keep this handy because I'm not, I know I'm gonna need it later. So anyways, I was saying, they creep me out. And I was always creeped out by them. But so anyway, but ironically enough, Spider-Man was my first favorite superhero. I found a brush to use yellow with. All right, so Doc Ock, his costume is predominantly yellow and green. So I'm going to put down the yellow first, which I'm hoping is a good idea. Because I know sometimes when I go to put the yellow down on top of another color, it doesn't come out quite right. Now I'm going to try to save room here in the back because all the extra arms, I got a metal color, I got the flat aluminum. I'm going to put those in, make those that color. Now I know that I don't necessarily have to follow these color schemes, but as I've said before, I like the characters from Marvel Comics so much that I want to stay true to the way they were drawn. Alright, let's get a little bit here. There. Okay, so yeah, it's coming in pretty good. We're going to make this look really nice. Now, the thing about with the rival panels is it looks like they made it that you could use it in two different ways. One, of course, is, for gameplay in the game, because they do give you cards and all that for the characters. But with the terrain that they give you, it looks more like a display, like prop, I guess is the correct word for it. So it's like, say I wanted to just show this off and not actually use it in the game. And I could do that with the terrain that they provide, because they do have little slots for the bases to fit right in. Okay. And yeah, it's good. I think it's a good thing I did the yellow first, because I do believe the green will go over the yellow a bit better than the other way around. I can see one spot here that it's going to have to go over the yellow. Alright. Pretty good start. Alright, so let's put that aside for now. Let's see if the red on Spider-Man is dried enough for us to start with the blue. Because if not, then I have to take a break. Alright, I'm going to need the yellow later. I'm going to need the yellow later because you see these things on the base. You got this, and you got this looks like a blast coming out of one of Doc Ock's arms. The way they show it on the box is that it's an explosion, so I'm going to treat it as such as I paint it. Alright, the paint does feel dry. So let's go ahead with the blue. Okay. And as always, if there's touch-up needed, oh yeah, I can just see spots that I missed for the red on Spider-Man, the belt. See a stray piece of the brush. Don't want to take the chance that this starts putting the color where I don't want it to be. Let's just cut that thing off. Finally got it. Okay. Back to work. Alright. Yeah, there was a straight one of the little bristles was going off in another direction, and the last thing I wanted was to have the color go where I don't want it to go, because that just means I have to touch up even more, and that could just be too much of a pain in the ass. Alright, so like I said, kind of missed the belt, but that's okay because we can go over that. I can go over that later when I do detailing. Yeah, it's coming in nicely. And like I said, also, we still have to do this, like that spider on the back. And I'm also trying not to rub off the paint I've already put on, which does tend to happen when I go over too much. It's like here on the glove, I didn't get it all the way around when I was doing the red paint, so I'm going to have to do quite a bit of touch-up when I'm doing the details. Alright. So the reason I got into Marvel Comics was when I was a kid. I wasn't really a big reader. I nothing really interested me. And at the time, it was an uncle of mine who was reading comic books. So my parents asked him to please get and give some to me. Well, I guess you could say that created a monster, because I just loved it from day one. I mean, of course, as a kid, what's the first thing you're drawn to? You're drawn to the art. And most of the time, I'll admit, in the beginning, all I was doing was looking at the pictures. In the beginning. But then, as I got older, I started actually reading them and realized, whoa, these stories are pretty damn good. Alright, so I think that's all we needed. The blue on Spider-Man. Now let's see if the yellow is dry enough to start applying the green on Doctor Octopus. Let's put the blue away. Let's take that to green, but let's take a look. Let's see. Oh, it's actually pretty dry. So let's get some green on Doctor Octopus. looks like at some point soon I'm going to have to get more green. Alright, let's get a good brush. Okay. Alright, let's get the green in here. So anyway, so yeah, so I think the first comic I actually read, well, both read and looked through, was Spider-Man. And then I was also reading Fantastic Four. Oh, I forgot to put the yellow on the gloves. We'll have to come back for that. So then I was also reading Fantastic Four. I was reading X-Men, Avengers, all of them. Eventually I started collecting them on my own when I reached my teen years, and I was getting an allowance. And anybody who ever gave me money always said the same thing when I was a kid: don't spend it on comic books, but I did it anyway. So, well, actually, I don't think anybody who asked me not to do that is listening right now. I won't get into why, but I think most of you can pretty much guess why. But anyway, I'm glad I did it because I had a great time reading them. So I remember one time I was telling a nephew of mine, because I had given him a trade paperback as a gift. I forget for what. And so basically told him how, like, when I was a teenager, like on rainy days, I would just spend my time in my room. I was, reading my comics, and I always had a blast doing it. He didn't take to them like I did, but he did enjoy them. The ones that I gave him, at least. Oops, got some green on the extra arms, but we're going to be going over that in a metal color anyway. Alright. Yeah, so I always would recommend comics, because the stories are, well, for the most part, the stories are very good. I mean, every now and again you come across a story that you don't particularly like, but for the most part they are good. Yeah, and most of them, the art is fantastic. Most of them. There are some where I didn't like the art, but those are pretty much few and far between. Alright, so get a little bit here first, and then we can take a break. Alright, well, I am going to have to go over some of the yellow again, I think. Not much, though, but I definitely have to do the gloves. I totally forgot about the gloves. So I'll do that when we start with some of the other areas. And right now my cat Logan is grabbing my foot. Alright. So I've got a good start going on these two. Alright. Put that aside. Alright, so we're going to let that paint dry. Take a break, and when we come back we'll start doing some of the details. I can tell you right now it's probably going to be a quicker job for Spider-Man, because with him the details is mainly going to be just a little bit of black and a tiny bit of white, and then of course what I have to do with the web and the base. And for Doc Ock, though, got to do the arms, got to do of course I said I got to do the gloves, got to do the flesh tone for his face, got to do his hair, got to do all that. So still got a bit more to do, and I'm just going to take a break, let everything dry, and I will be right back. Okay, welcome back. We've given the base coat some time to dry, and now we're going to start on some details. So let's get right to it, right? Okay. Alright. So I'm going to start with Spider-Man, being that his might be just a little bit easier. take out the black paint. Okay, so gonna try very carefully to only get the little spider on his chest. Put very little amounts of paint. Okay. All right. Now, probably should have gone with white first over his eyes. Actually, that's what I'm going to do. So, let's just hold off on the black paint for just a few seconds. Let's get another brush and take up the white paint. It's possible that I can get this white paint on and then do the black and not have it turn out to be just a mess. So let's get this. That's one eye. But like the rest of us, Spider-Man has two. Okay. All right. I don't know if you can see it. Got both the eyes. Now I'm going to try to go around it with the black. And that is always the challenge. This is actually the third Spider-Man mini that they have released for this game. They have one from where he was with the base set, one where they had him paired off with Black Cat, and now this one they got him paired off with Doc Ock. Okay. Oh, well, not too bad, not too bad. Okay. So, let's put the black away for now. Don't think I'm going to need it again, but you never know. And now we're going to get that spider on the back. Alright. Alright, when the pieces are this small and you're doing this detailing, it's always best to use small brushes and small amounts of paint. Alright. Well, it's not showing up too bright, but it's definitely there. Okay, now let me just see if there's anything I need to touch up. Oh, right, a belt. I totally forgot about the belt again. Shame on me for doing that. Alright. And there. Fix my mistake. Let's get a little touch up there. A little touch up there. Little of this, little of that. I won't even attempt to rhyme. I was never very good at it. But I do remember now, there was one of these. So I remember I had issues with the gloves. Alright, so we're going to put that away for now. Put Spider-Man down for now. Come back when we're ready to do the webs. Well, the web line. And the explosion on the base. But for now, let's continue with Doc Ock. Now, first thing I'm going to do is do the gloves, since I forgot to do it earlier. So, let's pick out a good one here. And then after the gloves, I'm going to do the arms. The extra arms, that is. Alright. This brush is actually starting to get a bit rigid. Might be time to replace it very soon. One thing I have noticed, though, in Marvel Comics is certain color schemes when they make a character. I noticed if there's green, there's usually yellow. I've noticed that if there's purple, there's usually like a dark blue. You know, it just seems to be like every now and again you just notice common themes with the way they do the coloring on their characters. Okay, alright. Let's do a little touch up there. Alright, now on the box it shows something in this nice circle on his belly, his nice rotund belly, to make it look like a power source, or just make it look like it's glowing. Not ready to do that just yet, but I will do it later. But for now, I really want to start taking care of the arms. Yeah, this is the one I'm looking for. Alright, let's get a nice brush. Alright, well, flat aluminum is one of those colors I gotta really dive deep into the jar, because in the jar it is very watery. I mean, I'll be honest, I wish it wasn't, because don't really like it when the colors are watery, because they tend to give me trouble when I'm applying it to the piece that I'm painting. It's like there are some paint sets that I've tried where it was in, you know, the paint was in like these tubes and you're supposed to squeeze it out into a palette, and I've done all that, and you know, I always found that like it was way too watery. You know, like it was like I would go to apply it and it would be like I was trying to just spread water on the piece, and it would barely stay on, and it would just get very frustrating, and I would just, you know, go back to this brand that I've been using. Try to hold this steady. See here, they got this thing here that I remember putting on the box. It makes it look like it's like an energy blast coming out of it. So I'll put that in later after the arms have dried. All right, I'm trying to make the arms look as metal as I can. And basically trying to not have the paint run all over the piece, especially where I don't want or need it to. Alright, well, one more arm to go. these arms. Actually, this is technically the second miniature of Doc Ock that they came out with for this game, because the first one was in the base set, and those arms were a pain in the rear to put on the base. And then this one came out. I mean, it's like in the first one, the arms were in two pieces, and you had to get them put together. You know, so it's like if you didn't have a good, if you didn't have good glue, it really was difficult. Oh, and it ran on the back. Damn it. All right, let me see if I could dab some of this off. All right, oops. I'm gonna have to go over the back of this because got the paint just ran right over everything. So I'm gonna have to, when the paint dries, I'm gonna have to go back over that with the yellow and maybe even some of the green again. Let me take a look again. Yeah, both yellow and green. I'm gonna have to go over it with that, fix that mistake. All right, well, so we're gonna let that. Hold on a sec. Get this off my head. All right, so we're gonna let that paint dry, and because as you can see, especially with the metal color, it kind of ran a bit. So I'm gonna have to go over it again with the colors that I had there. So we're gonna take a break and we'll come back. Not only will I fix that, but I'll also do the hair and the flesh tone on Dr. Octopus, as well as when the flesh tone dries, I gotta do the glasses that he has, and then I'll also do the web for Spider-Man, and we'll start doing the everything else that's on it, even including the base, including all those little explosion thingies. So just stay tuned, and I'll be back soon. All right, welcome back, and paint's dry. So now, first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to fix what happened with the Doc Ock piece. So let's get this on, and let's get to it. All right, get the yellow out, and yeah, sometimes things happen and you gotta fix it. But this won't take long to fix. And there we go. Okay. All right, so let's put that aside for now. So what I'm going to work on now, close this up. I'm going to work on now is Spider-Man's web. Let's see, medium gray we'll use. Get a nice small brush for that. I think this will do. All right. Yes. I forgot when I put this one together. There was a little break in the web. I don't remember if it was by design or if I broke it, because it's been a while since I put this piece together. Now, one thing I am going to mention that I'm going to do in the future, because there was a group of 3 character sets that I had started and didn't finish yet. This was before I started making the videos. So there will be a video one day of me finishing those. And I figure, what the heck, you know, I didn't start it when I was doing the channel, but I could finish it and put it on the channel. Why not, you know? And those pieces are, one was Nick Fury and his Howling Commandos. It's just basically Nick Fury and what looks like Dum Dum Dugan, and I believe the commando that was called Gabe. So that one I think I have almost totally finished. I think all I have to do is either some details on the base, or I just have to do the wash. And oh, look at that! Done with the web already. Okay. So then one of the other ones is the set of Arnim Zola and Baron Strucker, which I believe I'm almost done with those two. Alright, so let's get Doc Ock back over here, and we're going to do the flesh tone on his face. So anyway, so then the last one, which might take a bit longer, was Scourge the Executioner and Heimdall. Now, the thing about that one is that Heimdall, the way the piece is designed, had basically like a rainbow, almost like pieces of the rainbow bridge all around him. So of course, you know, and that's like, you know, showing the whole spectrum like over and over again. So I started on that. I haven't finished it, and that one's going to take a while, because basically I got to use the colors of the spectrum all around him over and over again, and well, let's just say it gets a bit tedious. Oops, I keep moving off of that. Alright, so alright, so let's, before I do the hair on Doc Ock, let's let the flesh color dry. Let me put this away. And we don't need to take a break, because what I could do now is start on the Spider-Man, because I start on this bit down here, which is basically like an explosion. So I'm going to take out the yellow again. Alright, got a good brush for this. And eventually I'm going to have to start changing these brushes. Alright, let's get all of this nice explosion. And then of course we'll fill in other colors as needed after this yellow dries. And it does look like there's bits of things that are supposed to be like basically flying away with the explosion. So I'll get those as well. Probably do it like a grayish color. Matter of fact, I'm not going to go back in here now. Matter of fact, the base is kind of like a unique base. It's not one of the ones they normally put out in these character sets. So makes it look very different, and I'm going to be doing it a metallic color. Not the same one that just ran all over Doctor Octopus, though. I'll use a different one than that. Trying very careful right now not to get any of the yellow on Spider-Man, because I really don't want to have to redo him, because I was careless. Alright. Okay. There we go. A nice yellow explosion. Oops! Oh, thank God I didn't break it. Nice yellow explosion on Spider-Man. Let's see if I can do anything with Doc Ock right now. And yeah, I can get his energy blast up here. Let me hold the piece steady. One thing I've learned with these pieces is when you're holding it steady, you do have to, for the most part, be careful, because if you apply too much pressure on these things, they will break. And at this stage, it's really a pain in the rear to have to put a piece back together. Now, I do try to refrain from cursing here. However, I will always tell YouTube I did not make this for kids. Just on the offhand chance I talk about something that someone doesn't want their kid hearing. Alright. Alright. Well, looks like we're going to have to take another break, let some paint dry. Alright, so let's kind of do a little review here. So, with Spider-Man, I just got to finish up this, nice explosion. I'm going to put like some orange, not sure about red yet, but definitely orange, and on these bits where it looks like it's pieces of something flying, I'm going to paint them a gray color. And then we got to get the base. It's going to be a metallic color, and then this will be ready for the wash. Now, as far as Doc Ock goes, well, let's see. He's got like a piece of a steel beam here. Going to paint that a metallic color as well. I'm going to get this bit that looks like an energy blast. I'm going to put maybe some orange into that as well. Of course, we got to do his hair and then his glasses, and the base too. Because on the base, as you can see, I don't know if you can see it, but it says Oscorp. So this is going to be another one, metallic cover, and the debris that's on top of it, I'll probably just do that like a grayish color with not metallic. All right, so let me close up the paint because sometimes I have a touch of clumsiness and I knock things over. All right. Okay, so we're going to let that paint dry, and when we come back, we're going to do some of what I just said. I don't know if we're going to get to do all of it, but I'm going to try to get them both ready to be washed. All right, so stay tuned, and I will be back very shortly. Okay, welcome back. We've given the paint time to dry, and well, what I'm going to get started on first is the explosion underneath Spider-Man. So let's get to it. Let's get this on first. Let's put this down. Okay. Alright, so got my orange paint out. And start off. Just like with others that I've done when I've tried to do fire or explosions. Just do a little bit of orange. Just got to put a little bit in here. It doesn't matter if it looks faded. It's all going to blend in as we've seen before. And while I have it out, why don't I get Doc Ock's Energy Blast, Get the base of that. Alright. So brush. Alright, let's put the orange away. And normally I would wait, but since I'm not going to be putting on much of it, let's get the red out. Alright. Just going to do a little bit at the end of all of these spikes. There we go. Not too bad. Get a little bit on the top. Okay. And now, see what we can do. Yeah, don't need too much. Okay. Now, actually, I should have taken the brown out. I did not. I'm going to go reach for it now. That's not it. That's it. Alright, so once and for all, we're going to do Doc Ock's hair. Alright. Gotta be very careful with this one because if we mess up, then we gotta redo the flesh. And I don't want to do that. Okay. All right. There we go. Okay. Could put the brown away. That's all we really needed it for. And now I have, let's see, where did I put it? There we go. It's a color called Dark Iron, which I'm going to use on these bases and anything else that's supposed to look like iron or steel. Alright, let's get this first. As you can see, this doesn't shine like the other metal color that I used, but that's alright. Not all metal shines. Alright, let's get around here. Alright, so coming in nicely, and there we go. Alright, so let's get some of the base, and it's really starting to blend in pretty good. And like I said, this actually comes with a terrain piece. I mean, I'm not exactly sure if it was intended to be used in the game, but I'm sure it could be. But it is definitely something that could be used to just display this if you wanted to just put it on display. And some people might want to do that. I've thought about it myself, to be honest, because I said to myself, well, I already have a Doc Ock piece and 2 Spider-Man pieces, so why on earth would I need a third? But, you know, sometimes it's good to have more than one option of a character. Okay. It's looking pretty good, at least as far as I'm concerned. The only thing is I may have to take another break to wait for this to dry before I can do more. At least with Doc Ock. Okay. Yeah. No, I'm gonna say though, I mean with these games, I'm glad that I was able to get into them as much as I am now, because when I was younger, I wanted to get into these games heavily, but I had no one to play against. Now I do. You know, sounds like a lot of these games that I wish I could have. Oop, I don't know why I did that. I'm gonna actually need that. Right, let's get the Spider-Man base. Yeah, a lot of these games I really wished that I could have used them a lot when I was younger, but you know, there's no use complaining about it now, right? Especially when there's nothing you can do about it. You can't go back in time to change things. Because boy, there'd be a few things I would change. But sometimes you just gotta go with what you got, especially when it comes to your situation. Actually, it looks like everything with the explosion is pretty much dry, so not really worried about colors running over each other right now, because it just doesn't look like it's going to happen. So when I'm done getting the rest of the base, I am going to get the little bits in the explosion. Okay. I don't know if you can hear it, but someone around me still has some fireworks. But I'll be honest with you, I hear this all year round. Yeah. The main problem I have is it freaks out my cat. He gets all, you know, pathetically meowing. Meow, meow, meow. That's right, I'm making fun of you, boy. Because he's right here in the room with me. As soon as he hears those explosions, looks right out the door, because I always have the door open. I have it open right now, which is why you can hear all that crap. Alright. That's done. Now let's see, what have we got left to do? Oh, actually I needed that one more, because I wanted to use this color for Doc Ock's glasses. I need a very, very thin brush. Oh yeah, and then I gotta get that, but I'm gonna do that grayish color. Alright, so here's a moment of truth for Doc Ock. I gotta get this. Gotta get these glasses to look good. Oh. Actually surprised myself on that one. Normally I make it look like a massacre, like it's all over, paint all over the face. Gotta redo the entire thing. Not so this time. I did a pretty good job, if I do say so myself. I'll pat myself on the back later. And let's see, as far as that mound, let's go back. Let's go with the medium gray. And let's get a good brush. Alright, getting close to just needing the wash on these characters. And that would be it. Alright. Alright. Actually seeing a little something in this part that the leg is on. I could use a dark iron color again. And I am sorry, it's still my tablet. I have not silenced it. I will next time, I promise, but I didn't this time. Alright, alright, there's little bits of debris. Let's get this color as well. Alright, there's little bits here. I know I'm not saying much right now, but deep concentration as to what I should do here. Okay. Okay, so that's enough from this. I'm going to grab the dark iron one more time, and I'm going to go over a couple of little things. Alright, a couple of little things. This little thing right here. Actually, I think that was it. Yeah, that was it. Okay, so coming out pretty good, at least I think so. And as I always say, if anybody out there can do a better job, I'd love to see pictures. You post them in the comments. I would love to see them. I always like to see what other people can do as far as painting minis. Alright. Alright, well, we're almost done. All we got left is the wash, so we're going to let this paint dry so that when we put the wash on, we don't rub off the paint. Alright, so stay tuned. I will be right back. Okay, welcome back. We've given the paint some time to dry, and now it's time for the wash. Alright, so let's get to it. Let's put on nifty magnifying device and put that down. And let's go with Spider-Man first. Alright, trying to get it where it's not too much. Whoops. You can try, but it doesn't always succeed. Well, if it comes on too much, then you just gotta keep spreading it around. But this is what's gonna sink down into those crevices to make it look like the webs of his costume. Okay. You're able to get it good. And put some on the explosion to give the illusion of smoke. Alright, so this is a different brand of wash than I use in past videos, so I'm still getting used to it. I think I did pretty good with this. Let's get a little bit more on the front here. Alright, well, put that aside. We'll show it in the big reveal. Alright, now do a little bit lighter on Doc Ock. Oh, I never did that circle bit in his belly. You know what? I'm just gonna leave it because it's not really that important, to be honest. All right, let's get it on the arms, and that. All right, on the arms is where you do have some crevices for it to sink into. Alright, okay, so getting it all around, and I realized I was getting a little too quiet again. Sometimes when I'm concentrating on what I'm working on, I get very quiet. Not really a good idea when you're making a video, but at least this isn't a how-to video. This is just a, hey, look at how I do it video. And hope that whatever I'm talking about can entertain you, so I should start talking, shouldn't I? Alright, it's not going to show up on the base too much because of the color I use, but that's okay. That's okay. And eventually I will paint the piece of terrain that these two pieces go on. And when I'm done with that, I'll put it all together and show you how it looks. Alright. Wash is done. So, I didn't have the light on that time. Alright, so let's put this back up. So there you have it. Spider-Man and Doc Ock. See, I think they both came out pretty good. Alright, there's Doc Ock. Alright, and maybe one day we'll see them on Tabletop Jones Productions when we play Marvel Crisis Protocol again. Maybe not. You have to watch it and find out. Alright, well anyway, thank you for watching. Please like and subscribe my videos. Try to give them as much exposure as you can. Please share them as much as you can for the same reason. You know, the subscriptions on YouTube do not cost anything, so it costs you nothing to subscribe, so please do. Help support the channel, it helps support me, and if you like and subscribe on Tabletop Jones Productions, it will help me and John grow the channel. It'll help me grow this channel, and we can reach more people, and hopefully you know, make this into a very nice enterprise for the two of us. That's what we're hoping for, at least. So like I said, like and subscribe, please share it as much as you can, and I'll be back with more, most likely with more minis to paint, not necessarily Marvel, but because I do have some others. But also like I said in the video before, I will be doing comic book reviews. Just waiting until I pretty much gather my thoughts on how I'm going to do it, and so because I want to do it right, you know, because I felt the first one I did, which was Kraven's Last Hunt, which is one of my favorite Spider-Man stories, I feel like I rushed through it just to get it out there, so I want to take my time and do it right. Okay? Doesn't necessarily mean it'll be a long video, but at least it'll be a good one. Alright? Well, anyway, thank you very much for watching, and I will see you next time.